So should I talk about what pemmican is?
Yes.
Okay, so we're making pemmican, which is shelf-stable meat during those times when you might really need that. So, we cooked a bunch of ground beef, and I also put some beef liver in there too for extra nutrients. And then we put a little rosemary just for a little extra flavor. So we cooked that all up, and then we drained the liquid off because we want it to dry out really well. So we want to make it into kind of like a fine dust. So first we're going to mix it up so that it gets cut up into really fine pieces. And you can see it just makes this really fine little meat powder. And so then we put it into the dehydrator, and you can use these like sheets that come with the dehydrator, or we just put some parchment paper down too so that it doesn't fall through the little cracks in the dehydrator. And so just spread it pretty thin so that it dries out really good. And if I find any chunks of meat that didn't get ground up in there, I'll just put it through again.
So the recipe is meat and liver so far?
Yeah, and I put a little bit of rosemary in there too just for flavor, but that's not necessary. And I just use ground beef because it's easier to grind up, and it's usually pretty low fat, so it's easy to dry out. If there's more fatty cuts of meat, fat doesn't really dry out, and so it's harder to get the effect you want. But you can use any kind of meat. It's just a matter of what's easier. So this has been drying for about 6 hours. So you can feel that you can't feel. You can see that it's really crispy and dry. So, now we're going to put it all into a dish where we can grind it up even further.
Okay, so we have a big bag of fat that we got from the meat market.
Yeah, so the other piece of pemmican to help make it shelf stable is to mix it with a bunch of fat so it kind of solidifies. And that also gives a better ratio in terms of nutrition, so you're not just eating a bunch of lean protein like you would with jerky, but that you're also getting some good fats for fuel. So this was already ground up by the butcher, all this beef fat, but if you get just a big chunk of whole tallow, you can also just cut it up into small pieces if it's not ground up already. And so I'm just going to put a bunch in a pot. And then I'm going to turn it on probably medium, but I'll probably turn it down because to melt the fat, you really want it to just be a nice simmer so you don't burn it. So yeah, now you just wait until it all melts down.
Great.
We melted all the fat down, so it's all liquidy. And now we want to strain out all the impurities so it's a nice smooth texture. So we're just going to strain it out. beautiful, clean tallow all ready to use. Okay, so then you want to take, wait, is this the pestle or the mortar?
That is the pestle.
So, I have a pestle, but you could use a spoon or something too. And you just want to go over the dried meat a little bit more, just to make sure it's a really fine, kind of almost like meat dust.
It sounds crunchy.
Yep. Nice and dry. Just make sure there's no chunks left in it. It's pretty fine. There's a couple little chunks, it's okay, but you want it to be mostly pretty ground up, because that's going to make the texture of the pemmican that makes it easy as a portable snack. You need it to be. Okay, it looks pretty good. Okay, so then you want to take the fat that you rendered earlier and make sure it's all liquidy. You might have to reheat it. And then you just pour that fat in. And you just want to fill it up until you start seeing it on the surface of the meat, so that it's full enough that it's staying on the surface. So that looks pretty good. And then you just want to stir it up.
Salt.
Yes. And then you definitely want to make sure to salt it. And be generous with the salt. That helps it stay cured. Then you've got this salty beef and fat soup. And then you can put it in the fridge and wait for it to harden up.
And it hardens up pretty quickly. And then when you pull it out, you can cut it into squares.
We'll show that.
Yeah, we'll show that. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so after the pemmican is chilled, the fat hardens, and then you can cut it up into little bars. So ideally,
That might be a little big to get it all up at once.
yeah, maybe I'll try this one. Oh, it came out a little crumbly.
A little crumbly this time.
Yeah, let me try this one. Yeah, this one came out a little more crumbly, but you can see that you get these little chunks of beef fat and beef, and so you can put this in a bag and it's very portable for hikes and stuff. And then you can store these. They're shelf stable. I'm gonna put it in the fridge for now just to make it last as long as possible, but technically speaking, we should be fine just out unrefrigerated for
A few
quite
weeks.
some time, yeah, or months depending on how cold it is in the house. Yay, pemmican! All done.
All right. Thank you.